Nice. This is an introduction to how we train a 2-on, 2-off controlled exit. Okay, what we want to do is we want to teach the dogs to do a targeted nose touch rather than a paw touch. The reason that we want to do the nose touch is when the head goes down, the body's going to arrest some of the speed coming down the dog walk, A-frame, or teeter-totter to do a controlled touch on the target. If you teach a paw touch, what tends to happen is the dogs race down the dog walk with the A-frame and they slam their paws into the target itself. This in turn creates a lot of extra stress and strain on the shoulders and the neck. So what we want to train is a targeted nose touch, not the paw touch. We teach them initially to touch the target. Once we've got them consistently touching the target and we've named the target, then we proceed to moving this target with the nail in it, and we use the nail to keep the distance away from our hand so that they hit the target and not our hand. And then we transition to another target with a little bit of tape on the back, and the nail's there so that if you want to do this outside in the ground or in the grass, you can push this into the ground and it should stay in position. If you're working inside, just loop a piece of tape on the back of it so that you can stick it to the floor and they can nose touch this. So what we're going to teach them is we're going to transition from this being held to this either being stuck in the ground or this being taped to the floor so that they understand that they want to nose touch the target on the floor. Now, once we get a good touch on the floor, then we want to transition to working the dog on leash, touching the target, being in position, either right side or left side, actually both. And the way we do that is we use our touch trainer. Now, our touch trainer is basically a small ramp, approximately 16 inches wide, 48 inches long, and we have two legs that we put on the back of it. They're angled a little bit, and here I'm going to place this on the floor so that you can see what it's going to look like. We're going to have a little bit of an angle coming up here, and we're going to eventually put a target down on this end. But the progression is going to be, we're going to use the trainer so that we can build our corner, so that we can walk the dog into the corner, do the targeted touch. Once we've consistently got a touch to the target with the board in the corner, board making our corner, then we're going to take the board, move it out of the picture, then we're going to walk up to the target, we're going to get a touch, we're going to cookie, we're going to say yes, we're going to cookie, and then we're going to give our release word, okay, and then we're going to move on out. Once we get the dog consistently arresting their speed, coming, stopping, touching, waiting for the cookie, and then releasing, then we're going to go to multiple touch targets. So, what we'll do is we're going to put target down here, and there's going to be a second target up here. We're going to walk up to this target, get our touch, yes, release. I'm sorry, let me do that again. We're going to walk up, we're going to tell them to touch, they're going to touch, we're going to say yes for our event marker. We're going to give them the cookie with the hand next to the dog. Never give it with the hand away from the dog. Always give it with the hand next to the dog. We're going to give them a release word. We're going to say, okay, touch. Then they're going to hit the next target. We're going to repeat the process. Once we get that, then we're going to go back to the touch trainer. Once we get a good corner touch, then we're going to move everything out of the way. We're going to turn our touch trainer upside down with the legs on this end. We're going to put the target down at this end. We're going to walk the dog up onto it, and we're going to ask them to touch. Once they touch, we're going to give them their yes, their cookie, and then we're going to give them the release word and move out and reload again. The reason that we use this end is it acts as training wheels. Once again, just like we used it in the corner, this will act as training wheels to initially get our touch without any slope to the board. And then once we get that, then we're going to take the board. Once again, we're going to keep it flat. And we're going to turn it like this. See if they no longer need the training wheels. Once we have this consistently coming up, touching, you're keeping their hind feet on the board, then we're going to take the board, actually turn it into the ramp, then we'll bring them onto the ramp, ask them to touch, give them our event mark, yes, they get the cookie, then the release. We'll work this both right side and left side, work all exercises both right side and left side, and then this will eventually transition to the contacts.